Hey, from New Jersey, it's the SNL Nerds, the show where two comics from New Jersey nerd out about Saturday Night Live. I'm your co-host, John Trumbull.
And I'm your co-host, Darren Patterson.
Hello, Darren Patterson. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you too, sir. You and yours. New year, new nerds, new us. Everything's brand spanking new. It's going to be great. Wonderful, lovely. Everything's right as rain, ship-shape, tip-top. It's all gravy.
Everything's peachy.
That's right. No problems in the first week of the new year. Not at all.
Nope.
I don't know where you get that news.
Just a quiet Saturday that we're recording this on.
Yep. Oh boy.
What war in Venezuela? What?
Not what?
What?
Don't know what you're talking about. Everything's fantastic.
But hey, let's get away from news about potential world war by watching a movie about potential world war.
Holy shit! I didn't even realize that. Oh my god! How did we do that?
We're psychic, I guess.
Wow! I didn't even. Oh shit! All right. Well, all right. Here we go.
Yeah, well, this will take us out of the news.
Yeah, because we were like, oh, it's the first week of January, which is Sherlock Holmes' birthday. So
right.
We
January
did the first.
6th.
Yeah, January 6th, and never forget. And then we did the first. We did the first Sherlock Holmes movie last year, so we figured this year we'll do the sequel to the Guy Ritchie film Sherlock Holmes: Game of Thrones, and that'll be a
Game
nice
of Shadows.
Game of Shadows. Oh, Jesus Christ, I was games. But yeah, Game of Shadows. So we thought, oh, this will be a nice light diversion from the current events, and not so much.
But hey, this involves a world war without South America in it, so completely different thing.
Totally different thing. So yeah, to celebrate Dr. Sherlock Holmes, we're talking about
Dr. Sherlock Holmes. What the hell?
Is he not a doctor? Is he not?
He's not a doctor. No. Doctor's Watson.
Doctor's Watson. All right, I apologize.
Yeah.
So we're doing Sherlock Holmes: A Game of Shadows, directed by Guy Ritchie, written by the couple Michelle Mulrooney and Kieran Mulrooney. Kieran is the brother of Dermot Mulrooney. Before this, they've also.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, and they also wrote the Power Rangers movie. And
great.
Yeah, and Paperman, that movie with Jeff Daniels in it, I believe.
I'm not familiar.
It's like Ryan Reynolds in it as well. So this movie came out December 16th, 2011. Had a budget of $125 million, made $543 million. So not too shabby. But I do remember when this movie came out, like it got mixed reviews.
Yeah, it was more mixed reviews than the first one. I think the first one was generally better received than this. But it did do well enough that they were planning a third one, but that got kind of stuck in development hell.
Yeah, I can see it. And the way it ended, it definitely opened it up to a third one as well. But I don't know. But yeah, I mean, you're the Sherlock Holmes aficionado. Like, what are your just overall beginning thoughts on this film? Like the introduction of Moriarty. How much of this kind of sticks to the lore of Sherlock Holmes? Do they take any? Did they mess
I would
around
say
with
short answer, hardly at all.
Okay, got it.
There are things in there. I mean, it takes liberties. I think it's fair to say. I haven't seen this since it was in theaters. And I did some research. I found my old Facebook status from when I saw this. I apparently saw this on February 5th, 2012. Haven't watched it since. But here's the review that I put up on Facebook. And I've also since put it up on my Letterboxd page because I think it's funny.
Okay.
So here it is in its entirety. Screw you, Guy Ritchie. I hope I get to kick you in the nuts someday for the 2 hours and $11 you just took from me. So, yeah, I was not a fan of this. So it was interesting to revisit it. I was kind of, well, I wouldn't say I was dreading it. That's overstating it, but I wasn't really looking forward to seeing it again because I remembered some of the dumb things they did, but I mainly remembered how much I didn't like it, and I knew
Mm,
my opinion wasn't going to change that much.
okay.
So
All right. No, fair enough. Fair enough. I mean, as somebody,
this time around, I wasn't so much enraged. I was just more bored. So I guess that's progress.
there you go. There you go. Look at you learning. Yeah. Like I mean, I guess I was the same way a little bit. Like as
Yeah.
somebody who is, I mean, I appreciate Sherlock Holmes, but I'm not like a diehard fan. I don't know
Hmm.
the whole lore and backstory and everything. But I appreciate a good movie.
Yep.
And yeah, like after watching this film, like I thought it was okay, but I
Yeah.
understand it definitely has a lot of flaws here and there. And I
Yeah.
mean, there's one I don't know. I guess I'll well spoil it, I guess. But
Yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead.
there's like the death of Irene Adler. I thought like, I wasn't too nuts
Yeah,
about how that
yeah,
was
because
handled.
I like Rachel McAdams a lot in general, and I really liked her in the first film, and I was definitely disappointed to see her killed off so quickly in this one. I mean, she basically just has a cameo role, and she just they kind of kill her off just to show how high the stakes are.
Right. I believe the term is fridging in the comic
Yes,
book world.
yes, that comes from yeah. There was a character, Kyle Rayner, who took over as Green Lantern, and he had a girlfriend, Alex, in his first few issues, and then he comes home at the end of one issue and he finds her body like cut up and she's like stuffed in the fridge, and that again just to show how bad the villain is, and that became Gail Simone, who later became a comic book writer. Uh, she started a site called Women in Refrigerators. It was just kind of about how often female characters or love interests or whatever are just like unceremoniously killed off or something traumatic happens to them, just to
Yeah.
like motivate the male characters.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, and yeah, like that whole because like she was a pretty big deal in the first one, and so just to have, like you said,
Hmm.
have her kind of shuffled off like that, a
Yeah,
little unceremoniously. It's like,
it's disappointing. Yeah, because she was a fun character. Again, they took a lot of liberties with what Irene Adler was in in the in the stories. Irene Adler only appears in one Arthur Conan Doyle story, but there have been like a series of novels that have been written about her by Carol Nelson Douglas, and I've read like the first three or four of them, and they were pretty good.
yeah,
Um,
absolutely. Okay.
and yeah, and also like I didn't like the female lead in this movie as much. Like Nomi Rapace she just does nothing for me as an actor. I
Yeah,
just find her very bland. You know?
right. Yeah, she was kind of. I don't know. Like, I remember for the longest time, like it seemed like Hollywood is trying to make Numi Rapace like
Oh, is that how you say it? Numi? Okay,
or
I
Nomi. I,
apologize.
I, I don't know
I
how to
don't know.
like Klaus Nomi. I don't know me,
Yeah,
but however you say her name, yeah, I remember she like her just kind of popping up in a lot of movies for a while. Like,
yeah. Rapace. Yeah, she did seem to be like the big thing for a while in like the early in the late 2000s, early 2010s, and she was in everything. She was in like a couple of Alien Prometheus movies. She was in this. She was in Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. Yeah, so I don't know. She just hasn't done anything for me in the movies I've seen her in. So I've just not not too horribly impressed with her. You know?
no, I hear you. I think she was pretty well regarded, pretty well liked in the Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. But yeah, after
Hmm.
that, it was just kind of yeah, nothing really kind of popped. I guess uh,
Yeah,
for
yeah.
her.
And you were
And
saying that she didn't you didn't think she had much chemistry
yeah,
with Jude Law and Robert Downey Jr. in this movie. And like admittedly, there's no sort of romance here
right,
because Watson gets married over the course of the film, so obviously he's unavailable. And
right.
Sherlock Holmes, the closest thing he had to a love interest was Irene Adler, and she gets killed off. So yeah, there's no real romance going on, but there's not much of a bond or a relationship. She's just kind of the
Yeah,
person who kind of gets mixed in with this because her brother is embroiled in the scheme. And
Right. Yeah. Like, I mean, there's no romantic really chemistry. Not all
mhm.
chemistry has to be romantic, but there should be some like good, friendship chemistry or rivalry chemistry or
Yeah,
just
something.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like the person Moriarty, uh, Jared,
Jared
uh,
Harris,
Jared Harris. Yeah, he had
who's the
him.
son of Richard Harris, by the way.
Yes, of course, the great Richard Harris. But yeah, him and Downey as Sherlock, they have good chemistry. Like
Hmm.
I thought they had good back and forth too.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, like, I like the way Jared like kind of portrayed more. Maybe I would have wanted to see a little bit more of him. Like I thought, like when they introduced the character of him, I thought it would have been like more of a big reveal. But I mean, it
Yeah, because
kind of
like
was.
in the first movie, you see Moriarty in shadows a few times, and they're just kind
Mm,
of like a tease, like, oh,
yes,
we're gonna have Moriarty in the sequel, and
yeah,
then yeah, and the I think the plan was we cast a celebrity of some kind as Moriarty. There was like talk of like Brad Pitt playing Moriarty at one
whoa.
point, which would have been wild. Um,
Okay,
yeah, right.
that's
That's kind of odd, right?
kinda, kinda,
Yeah.
kinda.
I mean, we already have an American as Holmes, and we have
Yeah,
another American as Moriarty. That might tip the scales a little too much.
a little
I don't
bit,
know.
a little bit.
Do we want to go through this thing beat by beat because it's a very convoluted plot?
Yeah, like I kind of had trouble following it a little bit. Well, I
Yeah,
mean, and we began in 1891, and then there's been a
yeah,
series of bombings going
right.
on throughout the country. Blaming there
Yeah, there's
people.
there's a bombing in Strasbourg,
Yes, bombing in
and
Strasbourg, and yeah,
yeah, because
and
like we love Hollywood loves like when we're making these movies that are set in late 1890s, we always have to like bring the world to the edge of a world war. It reminded me a little of the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen movie in that regard. Um, but they didn't go as cyberpunky with it, where they're introducing all sorts of technology decades ahead of time. So
right, no, absolutely.
yay,
Yeah, step in the right direction.
yeah,
But yeah, all these bombings are happening. They're blaming it on nationalists,
hmm
anarchists. They don't quite know what to make of it. And then we see Irene Adler
hmm
with a package that she's delivering. We see Sherlock Holmes following her in one of his many disguises, as
yeah,
disguised as a, slightly
Chinese
offensive.
dude, yeah,
Yeah, slightly offensive Chinese costume.
yeah.
Um, he tells Irene Adler some men are following her, and then it turns out like she knows about it, and it's like a trap to.
Yeah, she's like, no, they're actually escorting me, and now you have to beat them all up, and he beats them up in the slow mo thing that we did in the first film.
Yeah, and
Um,
also that it seems like Sherlock and Irene are actually going to meet up for dinner afterwards. So
right?
like, this fight isn't personal; it's just kind of, I don't know, just roughhousing.
Yeah, it's just it's just business. It's just a thing to get a little action in the first 10 minutes of the movie, I guess.
Yeah, I was like, all right, so wait, are they? I guess like frenemies or lovers or enemies? Like,
Yeah, I think that's pretty much what the first film
okay, it's like,
established.
yeah, it's like,
Yeah,
all right, I'm gonna have you beaten up, but then we'll meet up for dinner and.
they got a Batman Catwoman thing going on, basically.
Okay, all
So
right.
you
But
know,
all right. But yeah, so like you said, like first 10 minutes we get an action scene and we get that thing that Sherlock did in the first movie where he's like planning each move and it's like slow motion. And it's
right?
like, oh, if I do this and hit him here and hit him here.
And it seems like there's a lot more of that in this film. Like
A lot it happens like
a
three
lot,
times,
a
right?
lot more slow mo fighting, a lot more explosions and stuff, and like so much speed ramping.
Yeah, that might be my first thing about this movie is like it's not really there's no real mystery to solve. It's not really a mystery movie. It is more action, beat 'em up,
Yeah,
boom
I
booms.
realized kind of late in the film. Yeah, it's not really a mystery film. Like what makes mystery or detective films fun is like you see the clues along with the detective, and you try to guess and try and figure out what it all means. But here, Sherlock Holmes is like, aha, I observed this thing 10, 20 minutes ago in the runtime of the movie, and here's the thing I observed. And it's like the first time we're seeing it.
Yeah, exactly. So I was
So
like,
he's
oh,
like, oh, this person obviously had plastic surgery because I observed the skin behind his ear was bunched up from when it was like And it's like, well, how did we know that? How did
Yeah,
we
like
don't?
if
We don't know until Sherlock Holmes tells us, and so it's a lot less fun in that regard. You
yeah,
know?
it's more there's not a lot of chances for the audience to sort of guess what's happening.
Right.
It's more like Sherlock pointing out, what's going on in his mind and him solving the case, and we're just like playing catch up the whole
Yeah,
time.
and it's not so much haha you didn't notice that, and it's like, well, you didn't show us that movie, so we didn't have a chance to solve it. It's it's fun when it's like you can see the clues clearly and you're just like, oh, I don't know what this all means, and then Sherlock comes along and is like, oh, here's what this all meant. From A I deduced B and the C and D and then you're like, oh, how did I not see that? And oh, that's fun. But yeah, here it's just like a bunch of random shit happens. So
Yeah, it really is, and it's just like just beat him up in fights.
mhm.
So Irene Adler drops off the package with the man at an auction
Right,
happening. Sherlock Holmes gets there. He stops him from opening the package, but
because it's a bomb. He
it's a
prevents a bomb
bomb.
going. He puts like the little auction paddle on it to prevent the thing from flipping over and activating the bomb.
Right. And then he's able to start a fire, get everybody out of there. He puts the
Right.
bomb in this tomb
In the
that's
sarcophagus, yeah.
sarcophagus. That's the word. And
Yeah.
yeah, and then the bomb goes off, and he saves the day, and
Hmm.
tra la la. And then we cut to Irene Adler meeting up with his mysterious employer, the person that hired her to drop off the bomb.
Yeah.
And she's supposed to have had a letter to give him, but she doesn't have it because Sherlock Holmes took it.
Yeah.
And we find out that the employer is Moriarty, which is
Dun dun dun. Yeah.
yeah. I don't know. I expected him to be more in the shadows, more in the game of shadows than
Yeah.
he was.
Yeah. Well, like she's sitting in a restaurant and, he's like, oh, you thought you were safe because we were meeting in a public place and ha 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 ha. And then he makes a gesture and everyone clears out of the restaurant. So like everyone in the restaurant was working for Moriarty. And that kind of struck me this time because in the Man from Uncle film that Guy
Right.
Ritchie did, he did the exact same thing at one point early in the film. Like Napoleon Solo and Ilya Kuryakin are meeting at this outdoor restaurant thing, and Jared Harris, who's like the head of the CIA, he like gestures at one point, and everybody else in the restaurant leaves. And I was like, wow, that's an unusually specific thing that Guy Ritchie likes doing in his films.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I guess that's his move.
that's his move.
Yeah.
I was just like, wow, that's kind of weird that he did that with two films running with the exact same actor. But
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah. Tarantino has feet, and Guy Ritchie has people leaving restaurants at
people
the same
leaving
time.
restaurants. Uh,
His signature move.
yeah, and then like he poisons her tea, but we don't find out that she was killed until like significantly later in the film. Where
Right.
Moriarty is just kind of like taunting Holmes. He's like, "Oh yeah, yeah. By the way, I killed her yesterday."
Ha
So,
ha
ha ha,
ha
neener,
ha.
neener, neener.
Yeah, but we also see like I think Holmes actually does find the body of the man that was given the package, like lying on the street. So he was killed as
Right.
well.
He was like poisoned by a dart.
Yeah,
Yeah,
which I thought was interesting.
yeah. A lot of dart poisoning in this movie too.
Right. Lots of darts. Like we see it when Watson.
So many
uh,
darts.
When yeah, like is Guy Ritchie trying to bring darts back?
I don't know. Yeah.
But yeah, because we see at one point, uh, when Watson goes back to Baker Street to see
Hmm.
Sherlock, we see like there's tons of plants and animals around,
Yeah.
and Watson gets shot with a dart by Sherlock
Yes.
Holmes, or an
Yeah.
arrow, but he just kind of is more annoyed by it than anything.
And Holmes is like, he's doing his usual eccentric stuff, and he's like developing this urban camouflage suit, which is basically just like long underwear, but it's painted to like camouflage into the room he's in. So he's
Mm.
like painted to like half look like a bookcase and half like a pillar, and you can't really see him in the room until he moves.
Yeah, I
So
wonder if that will come back into play.
no, no. It's weird. I don't know if it would work in life. I suspect not, because
Yeah. Once you see something lumpy that's shaped like a human being, you're like, oh no,
yeah,
you're right
and
there.
wouldn't it like only work if you were looking at the person from a very specific angle? Wouldn't
Exactly.
the lighting have to be just right?
If you're looking at it head on, maybe, but if you're
Yeah,
looking at it from the side, it's like, no, you're three
yeah.
dimensional. I see you.
Because like literally the backside of his long underwear thing is not painted at all, so it's only going to work from a certain angle. And you would think if just, like Watson just turns up the gas lamp, he would be like, "Oh, hey, there you are, Holmes."
Yeah. Like, isn't Holmes supposed to be the smartest man on earth? How do you not clock that?
I don't know. It's weird. I don't know why we're trying to make Sherlock Holmes into a ninja or something, but okay.
Yeah. And, and I mean, we also see that Holmes has been doing experiments on Watson's dog, Gladstone.
Gladstone, yeah,
Gladstone,
yeah.
and at one point he's like almost near death, and then Holmes shoots him up with some type of elixir, and then he springs
Hmm.
back to life. And
Yeah,
then Watson is like, "Oh wow, that could come in handy. I could use that." And then Holmes gives it to him as a wedding gift because Watson is getting married.
right, right. He's getting married tomorrow. He was like, he'd just gotten engaged in the first film, so here we're. He's like, oh, we're getting tomorrow. I'm getting married tomorrow, and I'm having my stag party tonight. So
Yeah,
let's get ready for that.
right. And like as soon as I saw that Holmes brought the dog back to life, and they make a point to show that Holmes is giving Watson the elixir. Part of me was
Hmm.
like, I wonder if that will come back into play later in the movie.
Wait, was this your first time watching the movie? I forget.
Uh, I think so. Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah. It was. I don't.
okay,
I. Yeah, it was. It was.
all right, all right.
But yeah. So then we also see that Holmes has been obsessed with James Moriarty as
Hmm.
Watson looks into his room and he sees this whole like vision board of pictures of Moriarty and the red string, like the Always Sunny
Articles
gift.
pinned up, and yeah, the red yarn connecting everything. It's
Yeah, and then
people in movies and TV shows love to do that.
yeah,
I don't know where that got started. I don't know what the first show or movie to do that was. I mean, I can see having like stuff pinned up on a bulletin board, but I don't see how the red string really helps you.
yeah,
It's like, oh, right, yes, these things are connected. Yes. Oh,
yeah.
okay. Yes.
I think visually just looks more dramatic. I don't know.
Yeah, it
If there are
does.
any conspiracy theorists out there, do you guys still do your bulletin boards like this? How do
Yeah.
you? Is this bad representation of you and your people? Let us know. But yeah, like you said, like Watson is having a stag party tonight, so the boys
Hmm.
go out. We see, Sherlock isn't too crazy about him getting married, but
Yeah,
he's
because it
still
means the end of their partnership
it's the end of
as
an era.
detective
Yeah,
and sidekick.
yeah. So
Um,
they go out to the stag party, and we see that they're joined by Mycroft, played by the great Stephen Fry, who's
yes.
Sherlock's older brother.
Sherlock Holmes' smarter brother, played by Stephen Fry. I was really excited when I heard that Stephen Fry was cast as Mycroft because I was
Mm.
like, oh, that's like perfect casting. So I was really, really looking forward to seeing him as Mycroft, and I was. I think it's fair to say I was somewhat disappointed with what they did with Mycroft in this
Yeah,
movie.
I mean, do you think it's like? I mean, so it's not on him that Mycroft. I mean, I thought Mycroft was okay in this movie, but
Yeah,
uh,
I mean, he
hmm.
plays the part well. He does what is required of him in the script. I just don't think the character is used well. And they have one scene in particular where I'm just like, no, that Mycroft would never ever do that.
Oh, I think I know the.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, yeah, that
yeah.
was a little odd. I was like,
That's so out of left field. He also, I totally forgotten, he calls Sherlock Shirley throughout because they imply a few times that Mycroft is gay. I think they're
oh,
going for like an Oscar Wilde type of thing. So I think
okay,
that's why he's calling Sherlock Shirley, and at one point he meets Mary Watson's wife, and he's like, "Oh, I see how someone could be attracted to someone of your gender or something like that." So yeah, I think
oh,
they're going for like an Oscar Wilde thing, but I don't really know, and they never like state outright. It's weird, you know?
yeah. Like I thought that. I mean, I know what the scene you're talking about because that did kind of come out of nowhere as like
Yeah,
some. odd quirk, and it's like, oh, is that again? Like, I didn't know if that was something in the books. Is Mycroft just as kind of oddball as Sherlock can be,
I mean,
or
he is very oddball. So the character Mycroft, he appears in only two stories by Arthur Conan Doyle. And Conan Doyle wrote like 60 Sherlock Holmes stories altogether over the course of several decades. Um, and Mycroft is introduced in a story called The Adventure of the Greek Interpreter, and then he's brought back in another story called the Adventure of the Bruce Partington Plans. And the first one, Sherlock Holmes is like, oh yeah, he's like just as smart as me, he's just as observant as me, but he's horribly lazy, so he can't be a detective like me. Um,
hmm.
and he takes Watson around to his club, the Diogenes Club, to introduce him, and they have an adventure together. And the thing with Mycroft is he's very antisocial and introverted. So it's like Sherlock is like, yeah, he goes to his offices in Pall Mall, his lodgings, and the Diogenes Club, which is a club for like the most unsociable men in London, where the rule is you have to be absolutely silent except in the visitors' room.
Yes, I remember that episode.
Yeah. So, and then when Doyle brings him back in the Bruce Partington Plans, he sort of elevates Mycroft in importance, and Sherlock Holmes is like, oh yeah, he's actually like really high up in the British government, and he uses his smarts to like deal with all these international situations and matters of utmost delicacy, and he can see how all the pieces fit together and stuff. So it's very neat. And and Mycroft just basically comes around and he's like, hey Sherlock, I need you to do this really super important thing because these submarine plans have been stolen. And Mycroft has kind of caught the imagination of a lot of Sherlock Holmes readers and other writers over the years. So, like, he's a character that you see in a lot of other Sherlock Holmes novels and stories and movies and stuff like that because he's just a neat character.
Yeah, yeah.
And when Billy Wilder did his movie The Private Life of Sherlock Holmes, he kind of he I think that movie was the first place that connected Mycroft with like the British Secret Service, where he's like Mycroft's like a spy master, and the Diogenes Club is just a front, and other people have taken that idea and just ran with it. And yeah, so this movie's doing a bit of that too. So
Okay, got it. All right,
so
very interesting.
and like apparently Stephen Fry, big time Sherlock Holmes fan. He was like in a Sherlock Holmes like fan club at age 10, like the youngest member.
Ooh,
So yeah, I'm sure he was thrilled to play Mycroft.
yeah. No, this is the dream
Yeah.
come true. Then.
Yeah, I don't. I wonder what his reaction was when he was when he read the script for this. If he was like, "Oh yes, I'm all in." I mean, obviously he agreed to it, so yeah, I guess he's
Yeah,
cool with it.
yeah. I guess it's fine. But yeah, yeah. So they're at the stag party.
Yeah,
When Watson slowly realizes that none of his friends are at the stag party,
right,
the friends that Holmes was supposed to invite, and we
right,
slowly realize like actually Holmes is here working
yeah,
on the case, and he's staking out a fortune teller
right.
to get some information from him.
Simza, who
Simsa.
is Numi Rapace's character, and yeah, yeah, Holmes talks with her. They do like that tarot card stuff, and there's an assassin who's after Holmes, and then there's a big fight scene and stuff.
Huge fight scene, just like slow motion fighting, and
Yeah,
just knives everywhere. And
yeah.
at one point they fall into a cock ring fight, and then they fall out of a window. Then they jump back into the building and fight,
It's a lot of
and
falling. Yeah.
a lot of falling, a lot of
And for most
fighting.
of this, Watson's oblivious to this because he's like, okay, I don't know anyone here, so I'm going to go off gambling. Um, and
Yeah,
he's in another room, so he's not aware of this until Holmes and the assassin literally crash down on the table.
yeah, exactly. So like,
Yeah.
so Watson is getting drunk and gambling his money away, and
Right.
Holmes is just getting into fisticuffs over this whole thing. Because I think the thing he went to see the fortune teller because I think he figured out the letter he took from Irene Adler was supposed to go to the fortune teller. It's like she might know something about it, and I don't know. It was a little. I
Yeah,
was
it's
trying
hard
to.
to follow.
It
Yeah.
is a little hard to follow, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It's, I
So
mean, it's a very frantic movie, so you don't. It's tough for the movie to slow down and get you to absorb the plot points that you're supposed to absorb. I think
right,
so.
yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
because it kind of takes what the last movie did, and it's like ramping it up to 11. So
Yeah, I mean, which is it's a trap a lot of movies fall into where,
yeah, I
like,
agree.
once,
Especially sequels.
yeah, yeah,
Whatever set the first movie apart, they do more of that, and then it's yeah,
and then it's a big old. Then you get Thor: Love and Thunder.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah. This Thor loved and thundered all over the place, man.
all over my face. This movie is
Yeah.
Thor: Love and Thundered. But yeah, so the next day, the boys are beat up and hungover, and
Hmm.
Holmes takes Watson to his wedding day,
Yeah.
just just looking a fright.
Yeah.
But the wedding still goes off without a hitch.
They're slovenly, they're unshaven, they're all bruised up and beaten up, and Mary takes it pretty well, all things
Yeah,
considered.
I was about to say, like, I don't know. I feel like any bride would be in the right, would be in the right to be like, what the fuck is going, like, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
just beat Holmes and Watson over the head with an umbrella,
yeah,
like the old lady in the Laughing or something.
like the Lockhorns or something. Yeah,
Exactly, the Lockhorn. Wow, what a reference! The
yeah, yeah.
Lockhorns.
I think it's something that I find kind of interesting. I think I might not be correct on this, but as far as I know, this is the first time that Watson's wedding was ever depicted in a Sherlock Holmes story or a Sherlock Holmes adaptation.
Oh,
Um,
I mean, besides the TV show.
Yeah, well, the TV. I looked it up. The TV show, the episode where they had Watson getting married, that was done in 2014. So that was a few years
Oh,
after this.
oh, okay.
So I was like, oh, that's interesting. Because Watson meets Mary Morstan, his eventual wife, in the second Sherlock Holmes novel, The Sign of Four. Um, and it's literally like he falls in love with her over the course of the case, and then the last scene of the novel, he's like, "Oh, she's agreed to be my wife," and and Sherlock Holmes, because Sherlock Holmes is kind of a dick, he's like, "Oh, I can't congratulate you," because he's like, "Oh, women, they just distract you. That's just bad news." And then
Wow.
when
So like Andrew Tate.
yeah,
These
and
these
then
females are.
yeah, and then when the short stories start up with Scandal Bohemia, which was the story that introduced Irene Adler, Watson has been married for a few months, and so like after that, we have like stories where Watson is. It's either like a flashback to when Watson was still a bachelor living in Baker Street, or he's like, oh honey, I have to go off on a case with Sherlock Holmes, and I think Doyle maybe just got sick of doing that, so he eventually killed Mary off, like
Wow.
in a sentence.
Okay.
Yeah. So
And Mary's gone back to her home
yeah,
planet.
yeah. So because back in the Victorian days, I think you just had your hero get married at the end of the novel because that's how you ended novels.
Right. And
So
yeah.
it's not like a horribly well developed romance because she's hardly ever an onstage character again.
Right. More of it like an
And
object or something like that.
yeah, and in fact, like there are people who in the Sherlock Holmes fan community who think Watson was married like a number of times, like two, three, four times, because he always has all these references to his wedding, and they don't always work out in the chronology of the stories. So they're
Oh,
like, oh, well, Watson was obviously married more than once then. He's talking about his first marriage here, and his second marriage here, and his third marriage here, and his 16th marriage here. And it gets wild.
wow. So he's
Yeah.
just constantly getting married.
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Interesting. I did not know that. Thank you, sir.
Anyway, I thought it was interesting that we saw John Watson and Mary Morstan's wedding for the first time, as far as I know. So,
Yay, love wins.
yeah, I was like, oh, that's interesting. Well, yeah, haven't done that before. That's kind of surprising that in
Yeah.
like 100 years of Sherlock Holmes stories, this is the first time they've done that.
Yeah, look at them breaking new ground. I
Yeah.
mean, it's in this movie, but still.
Hmm.
Yeah. So
And then
yes.
after the wedding, Holmes is summoned to meet Moriarty. There's like one of Moriarty's minions who comes, and he's like, you've got to come see Moriarty.
Yeah.
And Holmes goes to Moriarty's university, and he like basically meets with him in his classroom. And that was another interesting thing I thought this movie did. I'm trying to give this movie its due where I can, but
There you go. All right.
this was the first, you always hear about Professor Moriarty, but this was the first time I really ever saw or thought about Moriarty being a teacher and him like influencing young minds and stuff. And I was like, ooh, that's kind of creepy and spooky that somebody
Yeah.
that evil and twisted has like a whole classroom of people. The whole thing with Professor Moriarty was that Holmes was the only one who knew that he was this criminal mastermind. Everybody else thought he was just like this normal college professor. So, but Holmes was the only one who could see the patterns.
Right.
Yeah, and Holmes has Moriarty sign a copy of his book Dynamics of an Asteroid, which they do say in the Sherlock Holmes story, The Final Problem. Or no, wait, maybe it's a Valley of Fear. One of the Moriarty stories where he's mentioned, he wrote a book called Dynamics of an Asteroid, and
Okay.
yeah, and after he has Moriarty sign it, Holmes was like analyzing his handwriting. He's like, oh well, these indicate that you're a man of great intelligence, but you're also a narcissist, and blah 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 blah. And yeah, it's a neat scene. This is one of the better scenes in the movie, I think.
It was. I thought it was a good
Mm-hmm.
scene. I mean, Downey is a great actor.
Yeah.
Jared's a fantastic actor. So we do get to see some pretty top-notch acting between the two of them, and we get like
Yep.
a good sense that they are truly equal as far as
Yes.
like intellect goes. Like Holmes,
Yeah.
they're like there's no way because like I think with Holmes, his thing is like he's just so much smarter than everybody else in the room around him. With the exception of maybe Mycroft, but he's just like
Right.
he steps ahead of everybody. But so to see
He's
something like
streets ahead of everybody.
oh
Yeah.
nice, so yeah, to
Yeah.
see something like this where like somebody is on his level and knows how he thinks and knows the game
Mm-hmm.
he's playing is pretty fascinating.
Yeah. Yeah. And this is where Moriarty reveals that he poisoned Irene Adler, and you know, Holmes does not take that well. Although there isn't much talk about her the rest of the movie, so I
That's it.
suppose.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, like she has a moment where when they're because Holmes takes her handkerchief and
Mm-hmm.
he kind of like sniffs it and throws it into the sea. But yeah,
Yeah.
for the most part, after she dies, like that's it. She doesn't really get brought up again. I was like, oh, that's not a great way to
Yeah, it doesn't seem as consequential as it could have or should have been, I think. Yeah, which is unfortunate. Because it makes the character seem very disposable.
Yeah, yeah, I didn't like that. I mean, I know some people say the same thing about maybe like the Black Widow in the MCU or something like that. But yeah, here I
Uh,
thought like, yeah, it's like
yeah, but I
I
mean,
kind of
in we see people mourning her in Endgame and stuff. I mean,
that's true. That's true. Like
yeah,
yeah, like Irene Idle didn't even get that. But I don't know, maybe that's how she's treated in the book, or I don't know. I felt like she deserved a little
like
bit more.
in the book, she's like offhandedly referred to as the late Irene Adler, and I think there's debate about whether that means she was dead or if that's just
Tardy.
um, referring to like that was her maiden name. I think that might have been a Victorian way of saying like the late, like
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So
I did not. I'm learning so much today.
Sherlock Holmes fandom is just it gets wild, man.
We fall down some rabbit holes.
Exactly, and there's like over 100 years of this stuff, so it's wild. Um, so yeah, so it's personal now. We get the bit of Doyle dialogue towards the end where Moriarty's like, oh well, the only way you're going to be able to stop me is to kill me, and Holmes is like, if I were assured of the former, I would cheerfully accept the latter. It's like, yeah, I will. If I'm assured of you dying, I'm cool with dying too. So
Fantastic.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so meanwhile, Watson and Mary, they're getting on the train for their honeymoon.
Oh.
They're going to Brighton, I believe they said.
Yeah.
They mentioned it a few times.
Yeah. I'm sure it's not. I'm sure it's not Brighton Beach, Brooklyn. I'm sure there's like another Brighton.
Probably not. No.
Not.
Um,
They're not going to like that place near Coney Island. Okay.
so they get into like a first class compartment, and then almost immediately the porter tries to kill Watson. Because like during the Holmes Moriarty scene, Holmes is like, "Hey, you should leave Watson alone." because he's married and he's not involved in my cases anymore, so he has nothing to do with this. This is just between you and me. And Moriarty's like, oh well, you should know in astronomy that when two bodies collide, there's always collateral damage. And
Mm.
yeah, so it's just him saying like, no, I'm gonna take out Watson too because I know it'll hurt you. So
Evil.
because I'm so evil.
Oh, son of a bitch.
Uh, anyway, so the porter tries to kill Watson. I think this was another dart thing, right? Wasn't it? Or was he trying to get him with a poison needle?
I think it was a poison needle, I believe.
Yeah, I think so. A lot of poison needles in this movie too.
Yep.
Just sharp things going into people and poisoning people.
Yes.
That happens like every other scene.
Yeah. Yeah, so like we get another fight, see another action scene. We see
Right.
Sherlock Holmes helping Watson. He's in disguise as like as a woman.
He's in drag.
He's
yeah.
in drag. It's funny. And so and we also see at one point to save Mary, Sherlock Holmes pushes her off a moving train into the when the train's going over a bridge, and pushes her into the ocean below.
Yep.
And Watson's like, "Did you just kill my new wife, you son of a bitch?"
He's like, no. I did it at precisely the right moment.
Yes.
And blah, 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 blah.
I timed it perfectly.
Yeah, and then we find out a little later that Mycroft is in a rowboat and he's like rescues Mary, and
so it's cool.
So it's all cool. It's all cool.
Yeah, I pushed her off a train, but it's just Mycroft's got it, baby. It's all good.
It's all good. It's all good.
Good,
so Holmes and Watson go to Paris, which is where the train is going, and they're off, and they're like investigating this whatever it is. I don't really know. I couldn't quite tell you why they're going to Paris or what is leading them to be like, oh yeah, Paris is the place to go to now.
All right. So, I could look it up according to Wikipedia.
Okay, let's go to the Wikipedia summary. That's probably better.
After defeating Moriarty's men, Holmes and Watson travel to Paris and locate Simza. And Holmes,
who's the psychic lady? Yeah,
who's the psychic lady, right. And then Holmes tells her she has been targeted because her brother Rene is working for Moriarty and may have told her his plans.
Right. Okay. And it says so they go to Paris, and then they go to this Romani camp.
Right.
I don't
know if we could say like gypsies.
They do say that word a lot in this movie, but and that is the word they would have used back then, but I think that word is largely recognized as a slur these days. So
okay, so we'll say all right. So we'll say
if we say like Romani, I think that's
Romani. Good. Romani travelers.
Yes.
Okay, got it.
Yes. So they go there. They find out that Sims's brother Rene is involved with Moriarty, and he's been sending her drawings. And Holmes and Watson deduce from the paper that's used, that he's at a wine cellar that's near a printing press, and it's like, oh, that's where our anarchist group had its headquarters.
Which is weird that she never thought to look there for her brother before, because I don't know, that's one of their old haunts. So you'd think she would have swung by there once or twice, but
yeah. So so they're trying to track this bomb. So her brother Rene has been forced to make bombs for Moriarty.
Right.
He's trying to start a world war.
Exactly.
And then, it's like his master plan is like start world war, shit happens, profit.
I mean,
that's the extent to which I understand Moriarty's plan in this movie.
I mean, some other leaders have thought the same. You know what? I'm not even going to say it.
Yeah. Anyway, anyway, so Mary has been rescued by Mycroft, and then we have this really weird scene where Mary's there with Mycroft, and Mycroft is just walking around in the nude for no reason.
Right? That was weird, right?
It's so weird, and it's so out of nowhere, and it's so out of character for Mycroft.
When I saw it, I was like, all right, I guess it's just to show that he's kind of a quirky type of person, but Or I mean, maybe they're trying to do it for laughs, but it's not even that funny, really.
No, it's not. And I just thought, like Mycroft is just this, he's this introverted, antisocial guy. So could never see him being just so
Yeah, because
eccentric or oblivious that he's just like, I'm just going to wander around naked in front of this person. And
he's also very prim and proper. So
yeah,
surely somebody like that would know. Oh, walking around naked in front of a lady
right.
that isn't done. That's what would the
Particularly
queen?
like a newly married lady.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, what would the queen
Yeah,
say? Like,
yeah.
like just out of manners
It's
alone,
so
you don't
weird
do
and it's
that.
so out of nowhere. And like you said, it's not especially funny. It's just
No,
odd.
very odd.
Yeah.
I was like, all right. So
So I was
yeah,
just like, "What? Why are you doing?" And that's one of the moments where I was just like, "Oh, yeah, I
is
fucking hate
it,
this movie."
so this was the moment where you're like, all right, fuck this movie. This was the last
Yeah,
straw.
I think this was one of my fuck this movie moments. Um,
No, I get it. I get it. It
yeah,
is.
I think that might have been the moment when I first watched this where I was just like, "Yeah, this is beyond saving."
This
Um,
is some bullshit.
I don't know. I just don't like it because it seemed like so much of what they were doing was just kind of mocking the characters. The naked Mycroft, the Holmes and drag, and
Yeah,
all
it.
this stuff. Like you can have fun with the characters without making fun of the characters, and it felt like this movie was making fun of the characters a lot.
Yeah, I could see that.
And even though the first movie took liberties, I never really got that vibe from the first movie, but this one I did.
No, fair enough. Fair enough.
So while they're there, Mary gets an encrypted telegram from Watson, and Mycroft translates it, and he's like, "Oh, it's like this double cryptogram that we got as that we developed as kids." And Watson says something like, "Oh, I don't miss you at all, and I hope I never see you again." And he's like, "Oh, if the sentence starts with a consonant, they mean the exact opposite of what they say." So
All
yeah,
right.
it's Watson saying like, "Oh, I really miss you," and blah 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 blah.
Oh, how
So,
sweet. That's a
um,
sweet moment.
so Holmes, Watson, and Simza they go to the anarchist group headquarters.
Right, and they find the leader, Ravash, and
Ravache. I thought it was Claude. Is it
uh,
Claude Ravache? Is
it
that
might
his
be.
full name?
Yeah, I think it's. I just wrote down Ravash, but I think the
I just
full
wrote
name is
down
Claude.
Claude. So okay.
Okay.
And he's like, "Oh yeah, I got to go along with this because Moriarty has my family."
Yeah, and
And
yeah,
yeah, and then he commits suicide. And
which wow, that
yeah,
came out of nowhere.
yeah, he just like puts a gun to his head and
Unalives himself.
yes,
But then the people upstairs
mhm,
from the headquarters heard the gunshots, so then they run downstairs. And Sherlock is able to find a secret door that
mhm,
they all go in, and then they find like a room full of explosives, and then they
right.
realize that they deduce that there's going to be another bombing happening at the opera, at the local opera
At the
house.
Paris Opera, where there's
Right.
a performance of Don Giovanni. Yeah,
Ooh, Don Giovanni.
and yeah, there's. Let's see. I have this note. This is somewhere at this point in this movie. I just wrote this directing style is exhausting because they're showing everything in. They're either showing it in slow motion or it's like because Holmes is making deductions. We have like all these quick shots of like oh, you did this thing, and oh, the wax from this candle dripped here, and blah 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 blah, blah and it's just it gets so exhausting.
Right. Yeah, it does get a little. I mean, I understand it's supposed to be like
It's draining.
It's supposed to be
Yeah,
fast paced action type
yeah,
of scene, but somehow it just comes across as maybe like a little too much and a little too
yeah. It gets
confusing.
kind of frantic.
Yeah, yeah, it becomes too frantic for you to like really kind of get into the stakes of it all and
Yeah,
whatnot.
yeah. So they go to the Paris Opera House and they're like, oh, we got to stop this bombing. But when they're there, the bomb goes off at a hotel nearby instead of the opera.
Yes, it kills several businessmen, and then they find out that the
Right,
bombing was actually a cover up for the assassination of one of those men, Alfred Meinhardt.
right. Who's a gun maker
Yes,
who is like a arms factory or something. Yeah,
right. And the assassination was done by a sniper named Sebastian Moran, who's like an expert sharpshooter
right.
and henchman of
Who's a character
Moriarty.
from the stories?
Oh, okay. I did not know that.
Yeah, yeah. So like when Doyle killed off Sherlock Holmes in the final problem, spoiler alert. Well, he meant that to be the last Sherlock Holmes story. He's like, I'm sick of doing this character. I'm just gonna kill him off once and for all. And then because Sherlock Holmes was so freaking popular, about 10 years later, he brings Holmes back in a story, and he kind of explains like, oh, this is how Sherlock Holmes didn't really die in that story where I killed him off.
Mm.
And he brings back he the villain of that story in the Adventure of the Empty House is Sebastian Moran, who was like Moriarty's number two, and he's like a sharpshooter, and he's like killed this person in London, and that's the mystery that brings Holmes back to London, because Holmes has been traveling the world for 3 years, and then he comes back and reveals to Watson, oh, I'm not really dead.
I'm right here. Hello.
Yeah, and then they capture Sebastian Moran together, and they're like, "Hey, that's all cool. Why don't you move back into Baker Street with me, and we'll start solving mysteries again?" And Watson's like, "Cool,
Rad cool.
yeah,
And they do air guitar and high five.
yes,
And,
yes." It's very Bill and Ted's.
yeah. You hear some like a Twisted Sister playing in the background, and
Right,
somebody
right.
brings out a keg, and
I may be misremembering the story slightly,
I think, yeah,
but
I might be confusing it with the end of Caddyshack. Now that I think
yes,
about it,
yeah. Hey, everybody, we're all gonna get laid.
yeah, I'm all right.
So anyway, so Moriarty has killed off this gunmaker, and now he's got his arms factory. So Moriarty has all this weaponry and stuff.
Right.
Um,
So then the three of them follow Moriarty to Germany.
right. They
Yeah.
disguise themselves as Romani, and they sneak across the border to Germany. And there's more humorous stuff where Watson and Simza get on horses, and Holmes is he on a donkey? Or, I think it's a donkey.
It looks like a donkey or like a Shetland pony, like a little
Yeah.
Sebastian type of situation.
Yeah. He's on like a miniature horse, and it's like, well, how could that keep up with the other horses? I don't. Yeah,
It
anyway.
can't. That's why it's funny, John.
Yeah. I know.
Comedy.
Okay.
So then they get to the factory. Moriarty is able to capture and interrogate Holmes, and
Right.
that's also Holmes tells, before he gets captured, Holmes tells Watson to send out this telegram
Right.
in this from this tower,
Right.
and so more.
And while Moriarty has captured Holmes, he's like, "Who did you send the telegram to? Who did you?" And I'm like, Holmes knows like two people. Okay, it probably wasn't Watson because Watson's with him. It's probably Mycroft.
Yeah, I mean,
Maybe it's Inspector Lestrade. Those are the three. Okay.
come on. It's one of
I
those
don't know.
people.
He's not the most social of guys, so
Yeah, he's got a small circle.
yeah.
So then Holmes kind of reveals Moriarty's plot and reveals
Mhm.
that Moriarty has acquired the shares in multiple war profiteering companies and
Right.
he intends to instigate a world war to make himself a fortune.
I love how we're just reading the Wikipedia summary because
Yeah.
we can't really get it from watching this movie.
Yeah, like after reading this and thinking about the movie, I was like, oh yeah, I guess that's what happened.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, that sounds good. That sounds close to what I watched.
Yeah, that sounds
Sure.
about right.
Okay.
So while this is happening, we see Watson he uses a cannon to destroy this watchtower.
Yeah, like Holmes sent him one of the brother Renee's drawings of the tower, and he writes on there, come at once if convenient, if inconvenient, come all the same. And that's from one of the Holmes stories.
Oh, okay. That's
Yeah.
That's like, oh, that sounds like a really clever line. So
Yeah,
must be from the book.
because it's from Doyle. Yeah,
That's why.
yeah. Not that Guy Ritchie and them don't write the occasional clever line. They do.
Yes, they do quip once in a
Yeah.
while.
Look, I like the first Sherlock Holmes movies. I love the Man from U.N.C.L.E. movie that he did. I just don't like this movie very much. I don't think it's very good. So anyway,
No, fair enough. So then at this point, the watchtower goes crashing down on the building that Holmes and Moriarty are in, and I think Holmes and Watson are able to escape. Moriarty is trapped in the
Right.
rubble, Uh,
And this is, I think, when they're running through the forest and everybody's shooting at them,
yeah, yeah, like
and
everything.
we got all this slow mo thing. You know, we're seeing about like maybe 20 seconds worth of footage, and it takes like 5 minutes. Without all the speed ramping in this movie would be about an hour.
There's a lot of almost like Zack Snyder esque slow mo being used
Yeah,
throughout this whole movie.
yeah.
It's like,
I feel like we're out of that trend a little bit. You know, you still see it
yeah,
occasionally where it's just like, you know, fast, 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 slow, fast, 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 slow,
yeah,
and a little of that goes a long way. You know,
very much so. Yeah, I'm glad we're kind of done with that because it did get
yeah,
overused. Like
yeah,
like people were just just using it way too much, way too much.
yeah. So they're running through the forest. Trees are exploding all around him. Holmes gets like a little like a chunk of wood in his leg, I think it was.
Something like
So
that. Yeah.
when they get on the train, we see Watson treating Holmes on the train, and he's like, "Oh, I'm a doctor. I gotta treat you, and blah blah blah. Don't you effing die on me, Holmes, and
Don't you die on me. Yeah, because at one
don't
point,
you die on me, man." Um,
because at one point, Holmes stops breathing.
yeah,
So Watson's like, oh, I need to bring him back to life. Oh, wait. What about those shots that Holmes gave me earlier on for my wedding
with the
gift?
magic bring it back to life juice.
Yeah. I think that's the scientific name. Yeah.
I think that is. I think it's supposed to be like a shot of adrenaline. So he like gives
Yeah.
Holmes like the shot of adrenaline. He's like, "Oh yeah, my wedding gift." Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And yeah, and then
It's
yeah,
like
Holmes is
it's like that scene in The Batman when,
yeah yeah
that one.
yeah. So Holmes is good again. They're on the train. They're going to this big peace conference in Switzerland at Reichenbach at the Reichenbach Falls. You know, and
Yes. Yeah.
if you're a Sherlock Holmes fan, you know what's coming.
Ooh.
What happens to Sherlock at the Reichenbach Falls?
Right. So because Holmes deduces that Moriarty, like his end game is to create an international incident at a peace
Right,
summit in Switzerland, and
right,
like they deduced, I think we talked about earlier that Rene Sims's brother is disguised as one of the ambassadors who's going to do the assassination after
right,
he's been giving radical reconstructive surgery. Which
right.
again, that's something there's no way us as
Yeah,
the viewer
exactly.
to
Because
guess
like,
that.
yeah, Holmes has a scene where he's like, "Oh, I figured out this was going on because like there were these two henchmen who looked exactly like each other. We thought they were twins, but I deduced that they weren't twins when one of them got shot during this big action sequence, and the other one didn't express any concern for him." And then also I saw like some of his skin stretched behind his ear, so therefore he had the plastic surgery. And again, it's not anything the audience has really seen or noticed or has had the opportunity to figure out. So it's
Yeah, like when he's talking about
so
that.
it's not too fun,
Yeah, like when he talked about scene, like, oh yeah, one of the who I thought was a twin got shot, and the other twin wasn't concerned. I was like, I don't remember that scene at all. Did that really?
Did
Did
we
that
see
happen?
that? I don't know because like the movie, yeah, the scene is so frantic, even though it's in slow mo, and there's so much shit blowing up all around. Yeah, you don't notice it, so it's not. Yeah, so it's not real fun when Holmes reveals it. You're just like, I guess that's a thing that happened.
It's like, oh yeah, I guess.
Okay, if you say so. All right.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
her brother Renee is disguised as one of the ambassadors, which narrows it down to like six people.
right,
So they got to figure out which one of the six ambassadors he is. Um, and the targets are the German Chancellor and the French Prime Minister.
right.
And Holmes is like he's dancing with Simsa to like kind of scout out the room at first, and then after he's like figured some stuff out, he goes and dances with Watson for a bit.
Of course. Oh, two men
Well,
dancing.
Well, that's the thing. No one reacts to it. I'm just
Yeah,
like,
like
it's 1891 and no one reacts to two men dancing together in the middle of a ballroom. Really? Okay. All right.
I yeah,
Fine.
exactly. Like I mean, I don't know much about that era, but I would assume that would have been like a huge scandal. Like, oh, what's the
Yeah,
meaning of?
people would like look askance at.
What's the meaning of this? Oh,
Yeah, I don't know. So it's it's not too terribly funny because no one's reacting to it. It's just like, oh, Holmes and Watson are dancing together, but yeah, it's not terribly funny if no one's reacting to it. So
yeah. So it's kind of whatever. So while the two of them are dancing. They split up, and we
Right.
see Holmes meets up with Moriarty on a balcony to
Right.
talk about everything that's going on over a
Right.
game of chess.
They start to play chess. Yeah.
Blitz
And
chess.
meanwhile, Watson and Simza are trying to figure out which man is Renee. And she's like, oh, well, it couldn't be this one because they don't have the hairline to cover up the surgery scars. My brother is left-handed, so it can't be this one. And blah, 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 blah. And then eventually Watson knocks over a tray to see who doesn't react. So they kind of figure out which one Renee is.
Yeah, I was trying to. Does that logic parse? Like, I guess. Oh, it's like whoever.
I don't think so, really. But
Yeah, I was like, all right, so whoever's in disguise is gonna be so focused on being undercover that they won't react
yeah,
like a human would under regular situations. And I was like,
it's weird. They're like, oh yeah, he's going to be super stressed or super focused on his task.
I was
So
like, I guess.
therefore, he won't react when I knock over this tray of drinks.
Yeah, and I was like, all
Because
right.
he's like, he won't react to the unexpected, and yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, I was like, all right, because I mean the whole reveal of them trying to find out who's doing it kind of rests on this. So I was
Yeah,
like, I
I mean,
guess.
it worked, so I guess sure. All right, it gives Watson something to do.
Yeah,
So Watson tackles the assassin, and then Renee is killed by a dart that's shot through a cane. Again, lots of dart killings
darts,
in this movie.
big dart
So
people.
so many darts killings.
Hmm. So many
Uh,
darts.
and then meanwhile, Holmes and Moriarty are out on the balcony, and they I like how they kind of progress from actually playing a game of chess to just calling out their moves, and then they're both playing the game in their heads. I thought that's kind
Yes,
of cool. That was
yes,
that was a neat touch.
yeah. That was pretty neat. Pretty neat.
Um, and then we find out again. We find out this whole thing's been going on with the code book because it
Yeah,
was like, oh yeah, I deduced that you couldn't have kept all this in your head. You had a code book for all this stuff. It was this little red code book because I snuck in and I witnessed one of your lectures in disguise. Again,
mm.
we haven't seen this in the movie. We're just
Nope.
seeing it in flashback.
Yep.
So he's like, and then after I saw that you had this little red code book, I managed to do a little switcheroo when I was being tortured by you, and also when I was a bellboy, and I pickpocketed it from you, and then I when you were torturing me, I put a fake code book in there that I somehow had time to create,
Haha. And
and I
yeah,
I sent the genuine code book back to London, where Mary and Inspector Lestrade have now raided your deposit boxes and gotten all your money.
yeah. I was like, can they do? I don't know. I guess part of me was
I don't
thinking,
know. Yeah,
what on what grounds do they have to do that? They're just like
there's some
suspicion.
sort of evidence that they have. I guess it's
Uh,
again. I can't say I entirely follow it, but it's going so quickly. You're just like, okay, sure, all right.
yeah, it's like
It says in the Wikipedia summary they seize Moriarty's assets and donate his fortune to charities for war widows and orphans. So that's nice of them.
that's
Uh,
nice. Oh,
that's cool. I
right.
don't remember them saying that in the movie, but hey, great.
No, that I do remember. They did say that, really,
Oh, okay, all right.
but it's really brief. I think I was trying to figure out, like, oh wait, they can just come in and take your money on like no real charges or anything like that.
See, that's the thing. Is this the movie doesn't really slow down for the exposition scene, so it's really easy to miss stuff. So
Yeah, kinda. Yeah. So at this point, we see Moriarty has been defeated by the Great Holmes,
right,
and then it looks like Moriarty wants to physically attack him, but then Holmes was thinking about physically attacking him, and like we
they're
see,
both having fistfights in their heads, and
yes,
they're both doing that. Sherlock Holmes, I anticipate you will make this move, and I will make this move, and blah blah blah. And they're both doing this, but neither one has done anything. It's kind of funny when you think about it.
they're head fighting at this point.
Yeah, they're
Uh,
head fighting.
yeah,
Yeah,
and then they also, but at the end they both come to the conclusion that Holmes would lose in a fist fight against
yeah, because Holmes is
Moriarty.
injured. His shoulder
Yes,
was injured before.
yes,
I think
yeah.
I said his leg was injured before. His shoulder.
He's hurt
Um,
somewhere,
he's
and
hurt somewhere. Yeah,
yeah,
some extremity. Um,
But so what they decide to do is Holmes decided to play the wild card as always. He grabs Moriarty. Watson comes in to meet up with them, and
right.
Watson sees Holmes throw himself and Moriarty over the balcony.
Yeah, they both roll over into the Reichenbach Falls, because this whole thing is taking place in like this castle that's built over the falls.
Mm.
So there's like literally a waterfall right underneath this balcony. I don't know if that's a thing that has ever happened in the history of architecture, but it looks cool, so sure, whatever.
It looks nice. It looks
It looks
pretty.
neat. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then we cut to Holmes's funeral.
Hmm.
Watson's doing a voiceover saying, "Yeah, there was no, they couldn't search the ocean for
We
their
couldn't
bodies,
recover the bodies.
couldn't
Yeah.
recover the bodies. Everyone's dressed in black, and yeah, it looks
Right.
like our hero is gone."
Yeah. He is the best and wisest man I've ever known. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah.
Right.
Um,
Yes. So
and
then we.
then, like a little while later, we see Watson and Mary. They're finally having their honeymoon in Brighton. They're getting on. They're getting ready to go, and Mary's like, "Shouldn't you pack? We're leaving in like a couple hours." And Watson's like, "Oh, as soon as I'm done writing a story." Um, and then he Watson gets a package. Mrs. Hudson brings in a package, and he opens up the package, and it's like an oxygen tank
Yeah.
that
So,
Holmes was fiddling with when they were meeting with Mycroft.
right, like a breathing device.
Yeah. So Watson's like, "Oh, if he had that on him when he went over into the falls, that may have been how he survived." And he rushes out of the room
Right.
to ask Mary about the delivery man, and then we see Sherlock Holmes, and he's been disguised as a chair this whole time
Ha ha!
with this little camouflage underwear thing, long
Right.
underwear.
It's long johns. Yes.
Yeah, and and yeah, he goes over to the typewriter where Watson has written up the story, and Watson has just ended it with "the end," and Holmes like just types in a question mark after that, and it's
The
"the
end.
end." Dun, 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 yeah. So
Shake, rattle, and roll.
it's a
Uh,
wild ride, this movie, man.
Quite a wild ride. Yeah, I mean, I didn't hate it as you did originally, but
I
that's
didn't hate it as much as I did before this time around. I was more just exhausted and bored by it,
but
mostly.
yeah,
You know?
I could see why
Yeah.
it moves at a fast pace. It doesn't necessarily uh build the things you need to build in order to like really kind of care about the characters
Yeah.
and the stakes and whatnot, and it just kind of just moves kind of at breakneck speed, and like it doesn't give you a chance to realize that maybe some of the logic is flawed in a few of the things that happen here and there.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Yeah, maybe some of the logic is flawed. Yeah. Um,
Slightly flawed.
so yeah, it's very frantic. It's not a lot of fun as a mystery because, like I said, you can't really follow along the way you want to in a Sherlock Holmes story. So
Yeah,
yeah, and they have a lot of things where it's just it seemed like they were mocking the characters, and you kill off Rachel McAdams. What are you doing there, people?
yeah, that was weird.
She's delightful. What are you
Yeah,
doing?
she's lovely. What's going on with you
Yeah,
guys? But yeah, and then that's the movie. I don't know if I could recommend it. I think it's a decent, maybe watch, but yeah, don't. I wouldn't expect too much from it. Like it's entertaining enough. I think that's the best I can give it.
yeah. Okay,
And yeah, that's pretty much it. It's
that's
entertaining enough.
that's more generous than I would say.
It's a new year, John. I'm trying to be positive.
Yeah, I mean, there are little nuggets that I like. I mean, I like that we see Watson's wedding. I think that's kind of cool, especially because they arrive all beat up and stuff. And and I really like them showing Moriarty actually operating as a professor. I thought that was neat. That's not something we see in a lot of Sherlock Holmes
Right.
adaptations. And yeah, I mean, I would have liked if they'd gone even further than that. If like some of his students could have been his henchmen or something like that, and we could have seen him like corrupting the youth or something like that.
Yeah.
But
No, that would have been good.
But no, it doesn't work for me. It still doesn't really work for me. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't have the white hot rage about it that I did in 2012. But
Okay.
what you gonna do?
Yeah. All right. You've cooled down. That's good. That's a good thing.
I've cooled down. I can't work myself up
Yeah. Steps. What?
about this like I used to.
Okay. That's fine. That's fine.
I don't know. If you showed me another horrible Sherlock Holmes adaptation tomorrow, I could get all up in arms about that. But this one, I think this time I knew what to expect. So
Okay. All right. Fair
yeah,
enough. Fair enough. And yeah, I guess that's the episode, guys. Thanks for listening to the podcast as always. And so next week, SNL still isn't back yet. It's coming back on the 17th. But we did have. Should we talk about the next episode? What we're gonna do, or should we
sure,
tease it?
sure.
Okay. So I think we'll make it official here. Put it in the books. Next week, we're doing a CNN documentary that just came out, first one this year. It's getting a little bit of buzz on the interwebs. It's all over my
Hmm.
feed. Guys, we're going to talk all about the Chevy Chase documentary. I'm Chevy Chase, and you're not.
Yeah, this is like the past week. I've been seeing like a different story on my feed, like pretty much every day. It's just like oh, here's a heinous thing that Chevy Chase did a decade or more ago. Here's another heinous thing he did, and here's here's why he's an asshole. Here's why he's an asshole. So it's sort of like relitigating all these things, and yeah, it's kind of wild, And of course,
Yeah.
it's going to cover his time on Saturday Night Live and
Mhm.
cover his time on Community. Apparently, nobody in the cast of Community agreed to participate in this thing.
Hoo boy.
They got Jay Chandrasekhar, who directed several episodes of Community. He was like the only person who was willing to go on record about Chevy Chase's behavior on the Community set, which,
Yeah.
wow.
Because part of me was, when I first heard about this doc, part of me was like, oh, is this going to be like like a whitewashed kind of toned down version of what really happened between him and all the times he's pissed off somebody in his illustrious career. But
Yeah.
it doesn't seem like it's going to be like that. From what I've read, he didn't have like editing credits in here at all. So like
Yeah.
I think we're going to see it warts and all. So I'm looking forward to
Yeah.
because
And this is the thing that Chevy Chase participated in. Him, his family, his wife, his daughters, and like Goldie Hawn and Beverly D'Angelo, I know, are both interviewed in it, and they both have nice things to say about him. So
yeah.
I think they're trying to present a balanced portrait, but who knows? We'll see. We'll watch this and we'll we'll see.
Well,
Certainly there's no shortage of material there.
no, not at all. 'Cause, I mean, I think like years ago on this podcast, devotees of the SNL nerds will remember. Like, I think I even kind of teased the idea of us doing a whole episode about all the times Chevy Chase's been a dick to people.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I don't know. And we never followed up with it because I was like, oh, maybe that makes us sound like Dick, pointing out how he was a dick. I don't want to
Yeah.
are we the baddies situation type of thing.
But I mean, yeah, if you've ever read like the Live from New York oral history book, it's wild because it's like pretty much every decade, it's like Chevy Chase comes around and pisses off a new SNL cast.
Yeah, it's wild.
And the things he's done, and yeah, it's so. I mean, will this make us develop more sympathy for Chevy Chase as a person, or will it, or will it make us dislike him even more? I don't know.
Yes.
I don't know. So
yeah, sympathy for the devil. We'll see.
yeah, try to keep as open of a mind about it as we can, I guess.
Absolutely. So. And so join us next week for I'm Chevy Chase and You're Not. And but until then, you can follow us on all the socials on Blue Sky at SNL Nerds. You can listen to this madness on our YouTube page, Non-Productive.com. We have our episodes there. Wherever you listen to podcasts, all your streaming services. Jesus Christ.
Beautifully said.
Wow. And as always, you can follow me on all the socials at Darren Credible, DARIN Credible.
And you can follow me on all the socials at TrumbleComic, TRUMBULL, and the word comic. So, yeah. So, next week, I'm Chevy Chase and You're Not. So we'll check it out. We'll figure out what that's all about. But until then, nerds out!
This has been a non-productive media presentation. Executive producer, Frank Hablawi. This program and many others like it on the Non-Productive Network is distributed under a Creative Commons Attribution Non-Commercial No Derivatives license. Please share it, but ask before trying to change it or sell it. For more information, visit non-productive.com.